Hey guys, what's up? Happy Thirsty Thursday, and hope you had a great week. And I know my lighting's a little bit off today. I'm later, and I'm kind of lazy. Didn't feel like going and getting my other light. So hope you can see me and hear me and all of that fun stuff. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about balance and what you can do to improve your balance. I read an article that my friend John posted earlier this week about balance, and mostly in the article, I mean, it was a decent article, but mostly they talked about dizziness and how if you're dizzy, it affects your balance. Hey Vicky, how are you? And then they talked about the how you correct your balance and where your balance comes in through your body and is affected. And I'll go into that in a second. But, they mostly said, if you're dizzy, it's going to affect your balance. But the article was was about balance. And so I argue, just because you have bad balance doesn't mean that you're dizzy. And it doesn't mean that it's coming from inner ear or from your eyes or from a stroke or blood pressure. Those absolutely can cause dizziness, and the symptoms like vertigo, and there's multiple types of vertigo, will create that dizziness, and that will affect your balance. But that's not necessarily the only reason you have bad balance. And I don't think that anybody has bad balance. Yes, people fall. Yes, their balance is affected. I'm taking dizziness out of this. I'm taking any brain injuries, all that stuff out of it. We want cat-like reflexes in our balance. Hey Sean, how are you? Thanks for jumping on. Good one today. You did a great job today. I liked your conversation, and we'll talk later about that. So there's a lot of musculoskeletal reasons that your balance can be affected. As in cheerleading, we need to have amazing balance because you're getting tossed up in the air, caught, on hands, and then you need to stick it and hold if you're a flyer, and if you're a base, you need to be able to maintain your balance to be able to keep your flyer up in the air. But there's things that you can do. There's things that will affect it. Like if you've sprained your ankle ever in the past, it's going to affect what your balance does. It's fixable. You just got to correct your ankle mobility and get better reaction times back, and maybe that's affected what your hip's doing. So when I started the video, I don't think you could see it, but I was up in a lid position on the ground, one leg up. That's a test that I do frequently in the clinic. Can you stand on one leg? I'm not looking like, are you rock solid like we try to teach in cheerleading? You want to be here and holding. But there's going to be times, it's natural for our body to sway and rock. But if your hip is popping out, there may be some weakness in through the outside of the hip that's actually related to your ankle sprain. Or if you've had a knee injury and you're walking on uneven surface and it kind of just keeps giving, you might need to do some hip strengthening or maybe some ankle mobility to create better motion and create better stability at your knee joint to help you stabilize some. Our body learns from failure. Everything in our life, we learn from failure. If you fail a test, for me, so I didn't do very well in anatomy when I was in college the first time and had to take it again. You bet your butt I was trying harder the next time. That, and I got a C-. I didn't actually get an F, but I needed to have over a C to pass. In semantics, right? But, I went and worked harder at it, and it taught me that I have to learn more. So when we fail something, whether it be your balance or a test or another example, I made some tried to make sourdough bread, tried a couple of times, didn't work, had to throw it out. I'm going to start over and try again. We need to teach our brain, and we need to get feedback into our brain that promotes learning and healing. And when we fail, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's okay, well, what do I need to do now? And how does my body need to learn to be able to course correct that? So in relating it back to balance, if you're wobbling a little bit, you're getting signals from your ligaments, from your joints, from the muscles that go back into your spinal cord, up into your brain, and kind of tell where your body is in space, and then that sends signals right back down to correct. If you never move out of, this tight base, so get into cheer again, we pull everything in tight, and you need to do that when you're flying, but our bodies aren't meant to stay there. Like when I test balance, I'm not looking, can you stay as still as you can and not have any sway? Because it's normal to have some sway. It's not normal to like be way in and out of your base of support, but it's normal to have a few degrees of sway side to side. Like our bodies are never fully still. And so when you're standing on one leg, you should be able to stand and stay stacked, shoulders over hips, hips over knees, knees over ankles. But there might be a little bit of wobble, and that's okay. If you are learning and you are trying to increase your balance, you actually need to allow yourself to get that wobble and push or move into that and challenge it and let yourself kind of lose balance, because that's going to say to your brain like, oh, hey, now I have a bigger space that I can move in, and I didn't fall in this range of motion, and I can work in there, and then gradually over time that gets better and better, and we learn. So we learn from that failure. So, hey, Nicolette. Hi, Pierre. Thank you guys for joining me. If you have questions, leave them in the comment below. If you're here watching live, put live below. If you're going to catch it on the replay, put replay just so I know that who was here, and if you have questions, I can definitely answer them for you. So, why is your balance bad? Taking your brain injury or something else out of it, we leave that aside because those are different causes of decreased balance. If we look at musculoskeletal reasons, it could be that you need some core work. It could be that you need some hip work. It could be that you need ankle work. It could be that you've sprained an ankle and you need some ligament, more stability through the ligament, and doing some mobility in other areas may help that to improve. So ankle sprain, knee sprain, ligaments are ligaments. They give us a lot of feedback. Hi, John. Thank you. Hopefully it gets some people's attention. Working on that, right? And if any of you saw, John, specifically for you, my post earlier regarding a reunion next year on campus. It's one reason I'm wearing my Northeastern shirt today. Just had to show my Husky some love, but there's a reunion. So John, check that out, and hopefully you can make it up. Totally lost my train of thought. So challenge your balance, allow yourself to move out of it. Sometimes we need to work in just holding still, and sometimes we need to work in allowing yourselves to, can you stay in this position and move out of your base of support and challenge it, like catching a ball or stepping through ranges, or, so one exercise I love to do is a clock exercise that you stand on one leg and you tap your foot to each number on the clock and allow yourself, if you're having difficulty with balance, that can be pretty challenging and you might wobble some. Don't stop doing it. Allow yourself to get that wobble. Maybe regroup if you're really falling all over the place, but regroup and let yourself do that. That single leg clock exercise is great for building leg strength, building ankle mobility, and helping you to get up into stunt, and especially for single leg stunts if you're cheering. Hey Dylan, how are you? I'm so sorry I didn't get to see you guys this summer, and hopefully we can hang out sometime soon. If you are feeling off balance and not sure what's going on, number one, get assessed. You could have some risk factors that you need to get checked out, and for brain-wise and all that stuff, make sure that, are you dizzy? That's a key thing, like to tell your doctor, like, yeah, I don't feel steady, I feel off, but I'm not dizzy, I'm not lightheaded. Lightheaded, dizzy, woozy feeling, or feeling like you're spinning, those are definitely more vestibular and maybe blood pressure causes. But just being off center and like feeling a little wobbly, feeling like you have to kind of step a little bit, you might catch your feet, that means you probably need to do some mobility and strength work throughout your body. And to get specific, it depends on what's going on. But get checked out, see your physical therapist, message me and we can talk and I can kind of direct you, yeah, you should go see this person or that person. Hi, Dodie, how are you? So I encourage you, try to allow yourself to experience your range of motion. Try the single leg clock exercise. If your ankle's really tight, only do it in the range that feels good. If you've got mobility in through your hip and your ankle, like reach as far as you can and see how far you can go. Maybe do a single leg clock that you're bending forward and touching your hand to the floor. If you're, again, not able to do it without totally losing your balance, do it in the range that feels okay, and then start to challenge it and allow yourself to get that wobble, come up, course correct, and try again. I think it's really important that we spend some time barefoot. And if you know me, I've kind of preached that a lot. We stuff our feet in shoes and that stops the sensation from our feet to our brain. And so spending some time, obviously make sure there's, it's a safe environment, that you're not going to step on glass or cut your foot or any of that stuff. But like, let yourself feel the grass, feel the rug beneath you. Allow your feet to move through the available ranges of motion. That in itself, and getting your foot to move better, will help balance overall. And it provides better, more stimulus into your brain to allow you a greater range of sensation. So my tips for the day: try being barefoot a little bit for as much as you can. We're getting into winter here. You're not going to go walk outside barefoot, obviously. But today was beautiful here in the Northeast, so get outside in your grass and let yourself feel the grass. Try the single leg clock, where you stand on one leg and you're tapping your heel or your toe out in each direction of the clock, and that you bend your knee and straighten your knee. Keep it comfortable, keep what feels good. Allow yourself a little bit of wobble and then course correct. Socks are okay, but barefoot's better. Because you won't get, it's just a little barrier between your sock and your foot. But socks will allow your foot to move a little bit more, so you will get some more sensation. So definitely, if you're able, take them off. When your feet get cold, put them back on. You don't have to be barefoot all the time, but just test it a little bit. So single leg clock, forward bend clock, keep it comfortable. Don't get dizzy. If you're doing a bend and you're hinging at the hips, reaching your hand towards the floor on one leg, if you're feeling dizzy, back up, because that's a whole different reason, and that's not what we're looking for. Try it in different ranges, like moving your leg out to the side. If you're coming forward, like maybe what happens if your leg goes off to the side or behind you and crosses behind you. It's going to challenge your muscles a little bit differently and create a better environment, that 3D environment that we look for you to be able to move. All right, I'm out of breath just talking here. Thanks for joining me today, guys. It was so good to see everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Work on your balance. Please leave me a comment below if you have any questions, or shoot me a personal message, and I'm happy to answer them, and we can talk a little bit more and direct you to ways to help you get better and improve your balance. If you're a cheerleader, I post more about exercises, and I'm going to post that article about balance in my healthy cheerleading group. So if you're an ex-cheerleader or you're a coach and you know some cheerleaders that need some work on balance, direct them there, and I'll get some other exercises and more advice as far as what to do and how to improve your balance. Hi, Gary. Hey, Kristen. Thanks for jumping on. I am at the end of my ramble today, but hopefully you catch the replay, and I hope you have a wonderful day and have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Take care. Take care, John.